All right, so welcome to the Summer of Love practice. Coming to the end of this series, it's been lovely. I've learned a lot about technology. And so today I want to focus in on the breath and let that breath carry us through the practice. And especially, this is a way of expanding our vital capacity, this breath that I want to introduce you to today. So we'll just breathe easily at first, and then we'll come into some technique, play with that, and then we'll apply it into all of our yoga asana. So close the eyes so we can look inside. Take a little inventory of your physical body. Align your bones so your muscles can relax. And just notice what does engage to support you. There should be very little engagement once we align from pelvis to head. If we get those bones aligned, then very little has to hold us up because we're stacked. Just notice what that is. And if there's any extra effort anywhere. Once we align the physical form, then we could drop into the breath. And with that body aligned upright, we have more spaciousness for the breath to enter. Just get a sense of filling your lungs and noticing the whole of your torso expanding with the inhalation, starting from the pelvic floor, the belly, the rib cage in 360 degrees, north, south, east, west, all the way up into the collarbones, and then back out again on that exhalation. You're just breathing at your own rate. You're feeling the whole of the torso hug back in to midline, including the lift of the pelvic floor, and then the lifting in and up of the abdomen, and the rib cage settling down on itself. Avoid collapsing the shoulders, which can happen on exhalation. So keep the collarbones broad, shoulder blades lifting the heart, and the neck long. So you want your head to be floating above your shoulders. Check in with your neck and throat. Maybe move it around a little. Relax the jaw. So this is just an open pathway for the breath to flow through the windpipe. A wonderful way to begin each day is slowly, taking a few moments to connect with the breath formally, a formal introduction, and to awaken our sensitivity to our body's language, checking in, noticing how we feel. Noticing what energy is available to us today. And since you've been awake for a while, just reflecting on the energy that's been present. Has it been sparked? Has it felt active, or has it felt quiet? Kind of drawn inward. And so as we deepen and even the breath, we can focus on the inhalation if we feel we need more energy, more awakening. And we utilize the exhalation to dissolve any unwelcome feelings, maybe any distractions or disturbances, or just a letting go, a settling in. And this is where we can then check in with our mind. So the energy body and the mental state, recognizing that connection. So is the mind able to focus in? So let's take a few moments and just drop in and bring your inner gaze to the space right at the third eye center, and feel the physical sensation of the breath coming through the nostrils. acknowledging the energy of the breath and allowing that to bring our mind to that one pointed attention. So that focus, the one pointed focus. Take a few breaths there and keep bringing the mind to that place. A few more breaths, practicing the focusing of the mind, which is a wonderful practice you can do anytime throughout the day. Just really sensing into the breath flowing through the nostrils, passing by that place where the nostrils meet the mind and then back down into the body, but really holding into that location. And every time the mind wanders, either into different places of the body or to your outer environment, it's just that opportunity to gently bring the mind back into that one pointed focus. It's a training. It's a strengthening. And then keeping that mind in that location of the third eye, place the palms together, rub them briskly to create heat. And with that heat in your palms, place those palms over your eyes, further relaxing the outer eyes, the muscles around the eyes. And then keeping the eyes closed, gently bring the fingertips down to the temples, give a massage to the temples. And then drawing down to the jaw, massaging the jaw. And then releasing down. And you're gonna come across what's called the sternum, this big muscle that attaches to your mastoid process down to your clavicle. You just rub that and then to the other side, sternocleidomastoid, crossing over. So your right hand's on the left side of the neck. Just give a little massage. So very relaxing to the vagus nerve. Keep the breath flowing. And then you're going to do the same thing across the body, crossing over the collarbones, because there's all kinds of marma points here. I think we did this last couple weeks ago. At some point we did this. And marma points are the energy points along the energy channels. So in yoga, we call them marma points and nadis, as opposed to Chinese medicine, which would be acupressure points and meridians. And they're similar but different. Our whole body, just a bundle of energy, just calming those points. And then bringing your hand right to the center of the chest and doing a little massage right on the middle of your breastbone. It's a nice way to calm your heart. Good, then reaching across just below your collarbone. If you move your arm, there's just massaging. You'll find a little softness under the collarbone, kind of right inside the shoulder. And this is an energy point for feeding, for releasing the lymphatic system. Might feel a little tender. Keep the breath flowing and your mind focused. And then reach over to the other side. I realize you'll probably open your eyes to see what I'm talking about, but then close your eyes again once you got that point. So beginning our day, just taking care of how our body, how our energy is flowing. Okay, and then release to center, and we're going to gently open our eyes, meaning not a hard focus. Open the eyes again. And then take your eyes up and notice what's above you. And then over to the side, and just let your eyes absorb your surroundings in the way of absorbing color and texture and lighting, shapes. Just notice your environment, paying attention. And then coming right back into center with your head, and then close your eyes again and use your imagination to see your environment. And as you're doing this, I'd like to share that this is really a fun practice to do outdoors. Whenever I take a walk, I've been doing this practice, and this practice of meditation is a practice of focus and attention. So just to review, we started out just focusing in one location, third eye center. And of course, if you're walking, you won't close your eyes, but you can keep your focus on your breath and in that area of your body. Just bringing your attention inside, connecting with yourself. And because you're at third eye center, you're connecting with your wisdom, your ability to see without judgment or criticism or comparison, just seeing yourself clearly, your body, your breath, your energy, your mind, your emotions, taking inventory, seeing who you are today. And then from that place of centeredness, we notice the environment around us and really take it in. And if there's, people and objects and nature and whatever is present, and just be very, very aware of your environment and yourself within it. And again, it's without comparison or judgment. It's not like or not like, it's just really taking in what is present. And this is also a wonderful practice that you can do. I found it very helpful this weekend when I was in a family reunion with about 50 of my family members. And just pausing in those moments and taking it all in. Not having to respond, definitely not reacting, just being aware of all that's unfolding moment to moment. So let's keep that sense of focus and attention throughout the practice today. Slowly open your eyes again. Take your hands to the sides of your ribs. Just right here, right into your side ribs. Yeah. And we're going to let all the breath go and feel your ribs collapse. In fact, really lift up the pelvic floor and squeeze the abdomen and let the ribs squeeze together. I like to do it and then come around and let my fingers touch in front. And then as we inhale, we're going to let that expand. And then contract and let them really squeeze together, especially the base of the ribs. So we're not just breathing into the chest. So do that a few times. Inhale, letting the fingers separate because you're expanding the lower ribs. Okay, now here comes the next practice, which I'd like you to practice for a week, and then I'm going to give you a new practice next week. So inhale and expand your ribs. Now hold your ribs open as you exhale. Don't let the ribs come back together. Your belly will definitely draw in and up. Your ribs might want to contract, but try and open them and take the next deep breath in. Think of expanding north, south, east, west, 360 degrees. And then hold your ribs open as you exhale. So it might feel weird. Do that a few more times. So it might feel strange. You might find some areas harder to open. So breathe in and focus on the back body, really expanding, yes, all directions, but put your mind into the back ribs. And then try and keep that open as you exhale. And another deep breath in. Of course, you're at your own rate here. Since I'm talking, you're exploring, expanding the ribs in all directions, and then holding the rib cage open as you exhale. So the inside's contracting, but your rib cage, your intercostal muscles are staying expanded. Now you can release your hands down. I want you to work with that as we go through the practice of taking deep breaths in, expanding that breath in all directions through your ribs. And then kind of holding that sense of expansion as you exhale. So we're not collapsing. And I'd like to invite you to practice that each and every day for the next week, okay? A few times throughout the day. And just practice that and notice what happens. And you'll actually start to expand. You'll get more movement available between the ribs. And the next week, I'll teach you the next point. Those of you that have worked with Turi know this, okay? So low pressure fitness, but I've been working with another instructor and it really made sense in the group we were working with to focus on the ability to expand the ribs first before we go into the next stage of what that is next week. Make sure to be there. So just keep that breath. Let's take the legs out in front. Okay. Pull back. Look, my feet are kind of clean. I actually had a pedicure and he used a grater on my, like a cheese grater on my feet to get that dirt off. That's what happens when you live outside. Take your hands behind you. Pull your toes towards you. Squeeze the muscles of your legs. That full deep breath. And then keeping the ribs expanded, we're going to exhale and rotate the ankles. Other direction. Then pedal the feet forward and back. Still deep breath in all directions. Keep the ribs expanded as you exhale. Take the feet a little further apart. Roll them out. Move back a little bit so I'm not cutting off my feet. And you're going to try and sweep the floor with your little toes. And we're going to lift open a little bit more and pull the toes in. Try and get to the floor with your big toes and sweep that way. Good. Bring them to center. Loosen them up. Now place the feet on the floor. Move my blanket out of the way here. Place the feet on the floor. Hold the shins coming forward on your bolster. If you're sitting on one, a deep breath in, opening the elbows, expanding the ribs. Now, as we exhale, keep the back ribs expanded, pull in the belly and round. Inhale, expand, opening the heart. And round. One more time. And lift it up. So we're going to straighten one leg and bring the other leg up and drop it down. I'm going to turn sideways just so I can speak to alignment. All right, drop it down. If the knee doesn't touch, if it's okay in the air, that's fine. Personally, I don't prefer a bolster on this. I like to go flat. And then we're going to turn towards the straight leg and do this Benny style, which means going into and out of the posture. So let's just find that lift, first of all, through the side body, expanding up, and take deep breaths, especially here. When the arms come over here, the head, there's a tendency to arch the back. So lift the thumb side of your hand up and breathe into that kidney area. As we exhale, let the arms come down and keep kind of puffing up those kidneys even as you round down. As you inhale, come back up, expand in all directions. And then try and keep that rib cage expanded. Of course, the front ribs are coming in, but think of expanding the side and back ribs. And lift it up. Arms first, and then hinge at the hips, and then round. Now stay here, deep breaths into the ribs. As you exhale, maybe hug up against your resistance. You could take, if you're leaning over your right leg, take your left hand to the outside. And if you bend the elbow, you'll get more opening through the ribs. So really focus on opening the side body again and the back body. Soften the neck and jaw. Try and keep those ribs expanded as you exhale. Last breath here. Support with both hands on the ground and gently come up. Arms overhead. And then we're going to turn towards the bent knee. Anchor the hands and squeeze into the twist. Now here's what's it. Really expand the ribs when you inhale, even though you're twisting, especially around the kidneys. And again, as you exhale, try and keep the ribs open, turning all the way through the neck. Maybe release the twist a little to expand with inhalation. And then use your exhalation to go deep into the core while keeping the ribs expanded. Should I say that 100 times today? One more time. Breath in and out. Give a good squeeze to the inner body, keeping the outer body expanded. And then slowly unwind. I'm going to take both legs out in front. Move my bolster to the side. You could still be on your bolster if you need to. Hands behind, anchored, fingers away. Then push into the ground. Lay arms straight. Let that open your chest. And then still, even as you're in a back bending form, so we're opening the front body, you can keep your chin down. Expand the ribs. Try and hold them expanded as you exhale. If you have no neck issues, the next time you inhale, open the throat. Exhale and feel the side ribs. Try and keep them expanded. One more breath. Go into as deep of a back bend as you want while still creating a sense of expansion around the kidneys and the side ribs and the front ribs. Now, if the head is back, drop the chest first, then bring the head around. Okay, bring the feet up. This time, legs pretty close together. Hold. Deep breath in, come neutral. Exhale, squeeze. Still keeping the side body open. And then come forward, inhale. Stay in that expansive experience. Oh, an expansive experience with the ribs. I love that. And now come to neutral and straighten the other leg. Let's see, that's that leg. So you're going to bring the leg up, drop it to the side, turn a little bit. Now this side's totally different on me. So just notice side to side. We're going to turn towards a straight leg, take the arms up, make this count, really stretch your side body, thumb side reaching up more. So we're not going into a back bend, come to neutral. If you need to, bend the knee a little bit if the hammies are tight. Okay, another deep breath in. And then let the arms come down and hinge and finally round. Inhale your way up. First the head and the heart, then the hands. And then the hands, heart, head. Expand those ribs and then keep them expanded as you exhale. Notice what you're noticing. Last time. Then we're going to hold the pose and refine it. Find your forward fold. Again, you might bring the opposite hand across to really open up those side ribs. Can you keep them expanded? Ease into the lengthening of whatever tissues you're touching. One more breath into this shape. Janu Shirshasana, head of knee pose. So focusing on the knee. It doesn't mean you have to get your head to your knee. Okay, inhale, take it up. And then we're going to take it around. Oh, arms came up here. We're going to turn. Okay, then drop the arms. And as we turn, there could be a lot of tendency to shorten the side you're moving away from. The hip will lift, the side will shorten. So anchor the hip and really breathe in, expand those back ribs, or expand around the kidneys. And then keep them expanded as you exhale deep to the core. 3 more breaths. Then slowly unwind. And we're going to take ourselves over onto all fours. Been starting this way a lot lately. That's okay. Consistency is good. Repetition creates awareness. So we're going to anchor the hands, anchor the toes, straighten the arms, rotate the pelvis, open the heart. Now breathe into the ribs, front, sides, and back. Exhale. As you inhale, lift and open. So we're backward bending, but we're still consistently expanding the ribs. Then as you round, same thing. Even let the front ribs expand above where that contraction is happening in the abdomen. It's kind of an interesting journey to really feel where you can move the breath and how you can create spaciousness, and then how you can maintain that spaciousness as you go back and forth. And really, every day is an important day, is a great day to do cat-cow. So let's grow it. Let's bring the hips closer to the heels. And as you come forward this time, bring your hips forward, bring your heart between the hands. And then if you soften the elbows, you'll be able to more easily draw the arm bones back, shoulder blades together into this up dog. Let's hold this for a few breaths. So you can really press into the arms. The arms are locked. It tends to keep your shoulders locked. So soften the elbows, pull those arm bones back. Feel the shoulder blades lifting your heart. Lower the hips as much as that feels comfortable in the lower back. I love to get my lower back deep into that lumbar curve. That might not be your body. To me, it feels very therapeutic to get that lumbar curve back. You might have to temper it a little so you can always lift the hips. Lengthening the front line. Let's take deep breaths. Let's go focus again on that expansion of the ribs. Keep them expanded as you exhale. And let's inhale our way up, curl the toes under, take it back, pop the heel, the hand off, because that was a lot on the wrist joints. Lift the armpits and curl down. Stay curled into yourself. And again, play with that breath in the rib cage. Now I realize the breath is always moving the rib cage. Let's see what you can find new today, that idea of keeping the ribs expanded on exhalation. Hands ground, head lifts, heart opens. And we're going to curl the toes under, come into a modified dog. So the knees, the feet are at least hip width apart, knees super bent, so you can rotate the tail way up and then push into your hands to lengthen your side body. Work into it. I like to work one hip back and then the other, feeling the length along the side body. Okay, keeping that length, and then let the arm bones lift away, lift up a bit, the armpits, and then the heart melt down. So the arms are moving forward, the heart's moving towards the legs. Feel that dynamic of opposition. And then walk the heels out. So yoga is all about opposition, finding the balance of our duality. So we lift here to lower there. We expand here, we contract there. Okay, we move up, we move down. Everything's moving in dynamic opposition. Let's bring both heels up, bend the knees, bottoms up. Now slowly lower the heels without changing the pelvis. Keep the bottom up. Hug the front ribs in. Now go for that deep breath into the ribs. Hold the ribs wide as you exhale. Slowly lower the knees down. Okay. Come back. Let's bring the hands close to the knees. One of my favorite poses, rabbit pose. I don't know why. It's one of my faves these days. Tuck the chin deep to the throat. Top of the head to the floor. Lift your hips so they come over your knees, not your heels, your knees. Either grab under the shins and pull out, grab the heels and pull out. One of the two. Now breathe into the back and side body. Hold it broad as you exhale. Placing the hands next to your head. Use your next breath to come up, keeping the chin to the throat. Line yourself in tabletop. And then finally bring the head up. That just helps balance blood pressure. And out. Okay, we're going to take upward dog again. So you're going to pull the tail in, come forward, open the heart, sink the hips, soft elbows, and then slowly coming down. Draw the arms out to the side, third eye on the floor. That can come back to that focused attention. Stretch the legs out behind you. Make sure your feet are hip to shoulder width apart so your pelvis has room. And then drop the elbows down, drawing them just across from your shoulder joint. So you have a 90-degree angle. Okay. Anchor the pelvis, scoop the belly, and then lift your head and just your left arm and turn and look to see that your elbow and wrist are equidistant from the floor. Feel how the shoulder blade muscles are lifting the arm. Take it down. Turn your head to the other arm. Lift, squeeze, turn the head, lower down. This time bring the opposite leg. Lift. Now pause up here for a moment. Drew, lean into this. Lift up, and as you lift the leg, make sure you're turning
your kneecap to the floor. There's a tendency to turn out. Your glutes like to do that arabesque action. It's an external rotator, but let's bring it down. Squeezing, keep holding, keep breathing and squeezing. Anchor the leg that's on the floor. Activate everything. Let's take another breath into the ribs. And as we exhale and come down, still think of staying expanded across the side and back ribs. Now let's lift the other side up and stay for a while just to be even. So again, notice that the leg will want to turn out. So turn it in. Notice the effect. Keep the breath flowing. One more breath to make it even, and then we'll flow. Exhale, take it up, turn the head, take it down. In and out. So while you're strengthening your back body, you can focus on that quality of breath. Probably getting kind of mixed up with my mic here. Sorry if it's making weird noises. Last one. Stay down, breathe. Now, bring the head up, slide the hands forward, elbows underneath your shoulders, interlace your fingers, curl your toes under. You know where we're headed, press your knees into the ground. So strengthen the core, okay? So much about strength. I just listened to a lecture last night, a talk yesterday on how important it is to let strength be our primary focus at this stage of the game. We're going to scoop up the belly and really tug in. So really flare up the kidney area, hug in the front ribs, side ribs expand, pull out of the shoulders. You can always do a little gecko asana here where you draw in and out of the shoulder girdle to relieve any tension building there. You're curling in so your elbows and knees are hugging towards each other. And even with these knees down, this is a great place to just hang out and refine the inner strength of the core and really scooping into the abdomen, all 4 layers of the abdominal wall activated, neck relaxed. You can bring the back of the head closer to the ceiling. That's a nice alignment for the neck. Meanwhile, you're feeling this in your core, right? So again, if the shoulders start to feel tight, give them a little movement. You don't have to come out of the pose completely. You're still hugging in. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. Just practice from the knees. I mean, if you're up on your toes, that's okay. But, you know, it's nice to feel how effective you can make these more modified versions of the pose just by activating those subtleties of movement, like super scooping the belly and hugging the knees and elbows together. That'll wake it up. One more breath. And then lower the pelvis, lift the head and the heart, slide the arms forward, elbows slightly forward to the shoulders, press down, and then pull back to lengthen the abdomen. Press all 10 toenails into the earth, the top of the feet, the knees, and the pelvis. And then let's release the neck. Other direction. And then lifting from the crown of the head, slide the elbows back under the shoulders, interlace the fingers, slide the legs together, push into the knees. It's easiest, I think, if you drop the chin to the throat and then scoop up and hug in. Now, option to take the knees off the ground. If the knees come up, it's really best for your posture to lift from the back of the head as well. So you're really lifting, you're into dasana with a little bit of I guess you'd have a little bit of a rounding in the lower back if we were to stand up, because that really lifts you from your center. And breath. Let's go back into that deep, full breath to all areas of the ribs, front, sides, and back. And try and keep them expanded as you exhale. So now you get to sustain your strength while practicing your pranayama. Takes a lot of focus. Again, if the shoulders start to gather tension, just create a little movement. Three more breaths. Stay with me. Drop your knees if you need to. Lower the pelvis. Take the arms forward, the shoulders. Pull back. So a little opposite action, a counter pose. Okay, now this time we're going to come to the side. Come onto one hip. Whoa, rolling off my blanket. Put the top foot on the floor behind the straight leg. Good. The straight leg is super activated. Push the side of your foot into the ground. And then this is really important. This actually teaches a lot about the shoulder. Elbow slightly behind the shoulder girdle, and then pull the arm bone back. So you're broadening this collarbone, and then I like to take my hand underneath those low ribs, lift them up and pull them forward. So that action creates, again, a better alignment for your shoulder. Now, if it bothers your elbow, you need more padding under your elbow, perhaps, but you want to try and push into the center of your forearm. I like the thumbs up action, keeps it right. Hold here. Just lifting this could be enough. Or we're going to take the hips up, and you can push onto that foot. Let's just hold this one and really focus on keeping that lower shoulder open. Top arm could come up just to lift you, or stay on your hip, or open up. Deep breaths. Now let's go back to that 360 expansion of the ribs. Hold them broad as you exhale. You could also use the muscles of your legs and hips to help you, so everything's activated, the whole community of your body working together. And then slowly lower. Okay, we're going to turn around on our hips, come forward onto our bottom, stretch the arms. I'm turning the palms out, and we're going to squeeze back a little bit, and then come back up. So don't go so far. You can palms up, and the arms turn. So we're rotating the arm bone and the shoulder girdle, activating the abdomen from a different direction. Last time. And then up. Go to the other side. So, side of the hip, activated lower leg. You need something under your hip. That might help, probably on carpet. Hand here, okay? It's a good pose for photos. Take your thumb up. And now the elbow slightly behind, because then as we adjust the shoulder, arm bone back. So just feel that action. If you reach under, pull the ribs up and forward, arm bone back. Just get that sense. You should already be feeling the tension, or the action, I should say, in your obliques, holding your waistline up, and then bring the hips up, lifting from the waistline. That's why it helps to have the arm up, really lifting away from the floor, and breathing. Activate the lower leg. But come off the heel of that foot if you want to lighten up a little more. Now back to that 360 breath. So while you're holding the strength of your side body, you get to focus on the power of breath.
One more breath. I think we held as long on this side. Let's release down. Take it over to the hips again. Okay. Hold the shins, round, open. Now, arms out in front, okay? Tuck the tail, squeeze the glutes, and scoop. So think of squeezing those muscles you just worked in the other direction. Hug, hug, hug. Go down as far as you can come back up, okay? As far as you can come back up. Push the feet, scoop the belly, control the action. If it bothers your lower back at all, do not go past that point. So maybe just come partway like this, okay? The other option is straight legs. You have to really firm your legs, squeeze your buttocks, see if you can get all the way down, and then come up without a jerk, no jerking, okay? I remember in junior high doing sit-up contests, and we were jerking ourselves all. We were more like flopping about than actually doing a really focused abdominal work. See what you can do. Modify it. Maybe even hold the legs a little if that's okay. You just want to get to the point where you're feeling your abs supporting you, right? Support yourself. Not only are they supporting the movement of your skeleton, but they're supporting your organs, keeping everything in place. Maybe all the way down, then back up. Squeeze, squeeze. Okay, do what you can. 3 more times. All right, all the way down this time. Staying down. Plant the feet on the floor. Okay, let the knees rock a little right to left. Maybe the head too. Just releasing the neck. Then anchor. Now, 90-degree angle at the elbows. Push down through your shoulders. Push down through your feet. Deep breath. Exhale, come up. Now stay up. Deep breath, expanding the front of the ribs, sides of the ribs. Hold the pose as you exhale the breath. Try and keep the ribs expanded. Another deep breath in. Heart lifting more than the pelvis. And this time as you exhale, come down with a bit of an arch in your back. You're going to touch your sacrum. And when you touch that, you're still going to feel a bit of a backward bend, back extension. Deep breath into the chest and side ribs. And then exhale, come up, back muscles engaging. This is excellent strength for your spine. Deep breath at the top. Hold the pose as you exhale. Keep the ribs expanded. Another deep breath. And then exhale, pelvis down. Breath here. One more time, lift it up. Feel your back muscles lifting you. Yes, there's a little engagement in the glutes, but do not harden your pubic bone to the floor. Let it drop. Here you are, you're breathing. And then take it down. Now, lengthen your spine out on the floor. Get your kidneys anchored. Take the arms overhead. Reach overhead. Maybe take your arms wide, your hands wider than your shoulders. Okay, reach it up, stretch it up. Get your side body as long as you can. Deep breath in. Now bring the hips up again. Push into the heels. Bring your chest, your heart towards your chin. Deep breath in here. Keep your arms pulling overhead as you pull your spine down vertebrae by vertebrae. Now you're tucking and rolling. Feel the difference. Once your sacrum lands, take a deep breath in to the ribs. Exhale, come up. Keep your ribs expanded. Deep breath in at the top. Into the back ribs, and then exhale down. Try and keep the ribs open. Last time, deep breath in.
Draw up. Expand. And then roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Stretch those arms overhead. Deep breath in. And this time, just let the exhalation bring your arms down to the floor. Feet off the floor, hold the knees. Let's draw them into the chest. Circle around. Other direction. Okay, so either roll to the side and come up, or if you've got it in you, you're gonna kick the heels up and roll up. So here's another opportunity to feel the results of a strong core. You can just roll up with your abdominal muscles, okay? Not momentum as much as really pulling and then come over onto all fours. Love that little alley-oop, getting my pants down. And then taking the hands to actually, let's take them outside the mat. Okay, maybe your thumbs are on the mat, forward of your shoulders, and you want to have them forward enough so you can come into this position where you're stretched out, head lifted, heart open, tone the belly. So all those actions we took into the abdominal wall, let them work for you now. Scoop it up, right? Legs anchored. We're going to come down halfway and push back up. We're going to do that 10 times. Keep the head up, heart open. Deep breath. Expand those ribs. Push that floor away. One more, just for fun, and then release back. Tuck the chin, forehead to the floor, arms expanded. All right. Come to all fours. Hands on your mat. We're going to go into a downward dog, but you're going to turn your fingers in. So my hands are on the floor and I'm turning them in like this so that the elbows can go out. Okay. So come into that kind of, I don't know, I need another name for this. But this is kind of keeping the knees bent so you can get your spine in alignment. And then straighten your legs as much as you want without losing that neutral spine. And then bending the elbows a little and straightening. So love your triceps here. Inhale and exhale. If that's too much, just hold. I have a little glitch in my left elbow since I have that toddler tendonitis, I called it. It's actually healing now that I haven't seen my grandson in a few months. But there's still a glitch that was created from overworking that joint. So paying attention to what I call glitches, maybe changing the angle by which you are doing the movement. Okay, you don't want to irritate your joints. You want to strengthen your muscles and really respect your joints. And one more breath. Then turn the fingers forward, walk your feet towards your hands. Bring your elbows to your knees, lower your bottom so you get aligned. This mic is right in my mouth. I hope the sound's not too glitchy. A lot of glitches here today. Drop into the elbows so you can lift your chest. Bottom up, tone. So I had a friend in here the other day with us last week, and she said, I don't know what you mean by toning. So toning the muscles means to activate them, engage them, lift them, move them closer to the bone. Now take the arms out to the side, turn the palms towards your head, sit back in your heels so you feel the glutes awaken. Okay, breathe into the ribs. Let's expand those ribs. Keep them expanded as you exhale. Reach forward, back into the heels.
So this is kind of a fun one where, well, I find it fun, really feeling that expansion in the ribs. Move this, keep going. I just have to rearrange my mic here, it's in the way. Okay. So as you come up, you're still feeling those ribs staying open, expanding, and then as you come up, stay expanded. Meanwhile, strengthening those hips and legs. Do this 5 more times. So hopefully what you're feeling, what I've experienced with doing this breath, and what its purpose is in straight, you keep going, strengthening what's happening in the abdomen, so that when we're breathing out and we're keeping the ribs expanded, you probably start to feel how there's more action in the abdominal wall. That's the point here. So I want you to practice this every day, even if you're just walking around, practicing that breath, or laying in bed. You can do it in all angles, as we've noticed already. And so not only is it good for the abdominal wall, it's good for all the abdominal organs. That's more than 5 times, isn't it? Let's come up top and stand, and really helpful to the pelvic floor. So all this area becomes awakened and resilient. We want that, don't we? Okay, here we are, Tadasana. Stand yourself upright in this pose and feel what you've affected so far. Come back to your breath. Feel the energy you've awakened. Notice how well you focus the mind in this present moment. And then spin the arms open with this inhale. Exhale, plug in. Plug into the earth, and with that stability, take the arms up. Side ribs, back ribs expanding. Exhale. Let's take a breath here, really expand. Front sides back. Exhale, center. Inhale, center. So changing the breath a little bit on you. Exhale. Deep breath in. And out. Oh, one more breath in. Exhale, center. Keeping the ribs open. Deep breath in. And then let the arms come down. Let's roll the shoulders out. Roll them out, roll them out. We're going to step the feet wide. Okay. Spend a lot of time on the floor. I want to flow through some standing poses. Still feeling that experience of expanding the ribs north, south, east, and west. So come into your straddle into a star position, arms out wide. Stretch it out. Anchor the feet. Firm the legs. Hug to midline. Okay, let the earth energy come up into the pelvis for strength. As we exhale, the pelvic floor lifts, the abdomen lifts, your energy rises. As we inhale, the energy comes in, expanding, ribs in all directions, softening the belly, and then a little release of the pelvic floor. So feel that. Let your limbs get involved by squeezing the muscles to the bone as you exhale, and then softening away from the bone as you inhale. Drop the shoulder blades down your back a little more. Okay, with that alignment, we're going to turn I'm going to turn my left foot, so I'm going to call it my right, so I'll mirror you. Turn your right foot in a little bit and your left toe out. Maybe walk your left foot a little more left. Now find that 5-pointed star again. Push into the legs, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders. Turn your pelvis a little bit towards your left leg. Whoa, I just about fell over. Turn it, and then We're going to drop this back arm so you can push your back leg into your hand and reach over. Just feel that length through your lower rib cage. Maybe drop your head. Now hold that length until you feel that stretch of the hamstring, then just drop your arm. Don't reach for anything. Just drop the arm and then push into whatever you've landed upon. And remember that shoulder alignment we did when we were on our forearm. Same thing. Draw the arm bone back, pull the rib cage around. On that same relationship, arm up, same relationship. You're pushing the back hip, the top hip back and up to crease deeper into your left groin and find that expanded triangle. Now breathe as we've been doing the whole time. Expand your ribs in all directions. Keep it expanded as you exhale. If you want, turn the head down, forward or up. Choose your neck position. Expand with inhalation. Stay expanded on exhalation. This time, take the arm overhead. Stretch more from the top side. One more breath in and out. Then inhale your way up. You feel what that triangle pose brings to you. Arms down, shoulders relaxed. Okay, from the pelvis, you're going to turn your back toes in, your front toes out. So this time your right foot out, maybe more right. Let's find the straddle or the star pose. So we're expanded evenly, all limbs activated. Drop the back hand. So you're lifting. That back leg's moving back, moving back, moving back to hinge deep at the soft groin. Then drop the hand wherever it lands. Adjust the shoulder. Shoulder back, rib cage forward. Float the top arm up. And breathe. We're here to find ease in the form. Right? We're definitely doing some strength work here. At the same time, we want to find some ease so that our energy is flooding through our body. If we're holding too tightly somewhere, it can create a little block. So release those blockages. Maybe adjust the pelvis a little, more lift to the sits bones, those little subtle refinements. Just open the floodgates of your energy body. One more breath, feeling the response. And let your inhalation float you up. Toes forward, hands down. Hands on your pelvis, so we know where it is. Just shift side to side, turning again so that your left foot turns out. Definitely walk it a little bit to the left and let your back heel turn out so you can turn your pelvis towards the short end of the mat. We're going to do a revolved triangle. At this point, you might want to block. Okay, sorry, I didn't tell you that before. Turn around because we're going to do a revolved triangle. Starting with the pelvis aligned, open the heart, breathe into your ribs. And as you exhale, simply hinge forward over the leg, like a pyramid pose. Now take the hand to the block, to the inside of the foot. You could choose to go outside. You want to square the pelvis. So your back hip's coming forward, keeping the sitting bones lifted. Feel what's happening in your pelvis. This is important. Tend to rounding, keep the bottom up. Then from that place, deep breath in, ribs expand. And then as you exhale, turn from the ribs, not the pelvis, the ribs. Deep breath in once you get there. Whatever there is for you. Whoa, oops. That's what happens when one eye is very blurry. You know, I still have a little visual impairment. It really affects balance. So hug the legs together, open the heart. Again, you could be up here if that feels better, to keep the spine aligned. Better than rounding over to get to something on the ground. You want to keep the spine aligned. Couple more breaths here. Some of you could have the block on the outside. That's a deeper twist. Bottoms up. And then looking forward at the front foot. Square the shoulders and the hips. Let the front knee bend. And then bring your arms up. Front knee bends. Draw the hips square as much as you can to the front of the mat. And draw the arms overhead. Now lift up out of those kidneys. Take the gaze up. Drop the head back if it feels comfortable. Maybe press the palms together. Modified version would simply be here. So find your way to your spot. Take 3 more breaths. Enjoy those breaths. And then inhale, straightening the front leg. Let the arms come down as you come around. Okay. Let's do the other side. So you've got a few poses in there. All in getting to revolve triangle, pyramid pose on the way, warrior one on the way out. Let's turn the pelvis. Make sure you have a wide enough stance so you feel steady. Don't fall over like I did. Okay. And if you do, that's okay. Push the heel down behind you. Back leg is your strength. Tone the belly, and we're going to hinge. Bottoms up. Okay, if you need to soften the front knee a little, but really the pose is in the leg being steady and straight without being locked. Feel that. Okay. Bring the hand either to the leg, block, okay. Rotate, keeping the bottom up. If you rotate too far, you'll round your back. This is not good. Bottom up. Tone the belly. Now deep breath into your ribs. So play with that breath again, even as you twist. Can you expand around the kidneys and the heart simultaneously? The arm could come up if you twist far enough. For most people, it's best to just keep it down. Adjust the shoulders so your collarbones are broad, your heart's wide open. Feel those subtleties of refinement. Breathe into the spaciousness you're creating for yourself, as well as that deep inner hug. Looking down, soften the front knee. Plug in the back leg firmly. Let the back leg hold you as you come up into cactus or overhead. Okay. Again, squaring towards the short end of the mat and then finding your final form so you can go back into your breath. Just let the body be in this shape and you refine your breathing. One more breath. Notice when you stay how much more you can experience. Turn, release, step your feet in, shake it out. Now stand in your Tadasana, okay? Aligning your axis mundi, connecting earth to heaven. Close your eyes. Feel inside. Is there any refinement you need to make in your physical form here in mountain pose? So you feel even more relaxed while also supported, stable, connected to the earth, and then light and expansive, connected to the sky. Come back to that full, deep 360 breath. holding that expansion in all directions as you exhale. 3 of those breaths. Float your hands to your heart. And notice how that feels, just standing in Tadasana. I'm going to leave you here today so that throughout the day you remember to practice this full deep breath, exploring the capacity of your lungs by allowing the rib cage to expand. And you might find some areas that are really hard to access, but that's okay because you're going to spend every day this week accessing these areas and noticing what happens. Okay, so think of you're opening the space between the ribs, activating your intercostal muscles, which often become tight or lethargic. They don't work for us. So we're going to get those in shape. Okay. As you stand, you're also feeling the effects of the strength work that we did today, so we can hold ourselves upright. So when you go for a walk today or wherever you're walking today, bring that awareness, come back to inner focus, feel that. And then even as your attention goes to your outer environment, stay connected to that inner core. So you're doing awareness of your external world while remaining connected to that inner focus. That is your what we call your light work for the week. Instead of homework, light work. Awaken the light within you. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy your breath and let it be your best friend and guide to living a more healthy life. Namaste.